Good evening once again from the Nostalgica Playset. This evening we are looking at the Star Wars Power of the Force Jedi Spirits playset, figures / playset. I'm really gaining a new appreciation for this line. As I mentioned in previous videos, I was a bit out of Star Wars by the time these came out, but not so far out that I wasn't still watching the latest iteration of movies and such. This one was a very familiar scene to me, obviously because it was Return of the Jedi, which is probably one of my top 10 of all-time favorite movies for many reasons. So I've been gradually putting together my Ewok and indoor play sets and trying to really create a diorama, and I felt like this was going to be the piece that I added to it, because of course at the end of Return of the Jedi you have the 3 Force Spirits appearing to Luke. It's a great way to end the movie. Unfortunately, I think it was Sebastian Shaw was later cut out as being the Anakin Force Ghost. I think we're all very much aware of that, in favor of putting in Hayden Christensen. Anyway, that's probably another topic for another day and for other channels that have covered that. Let's get started. So I was about to, was taking the tape off to make things a little easier here off the end. And the funny thing I had noticed at the time was in a previous box, it still had the Kenner logo, even though owned by Hasbro by that point, I believe. So 97, perhaps 96, I can't quite recall. Anyway, the Hasbro label was on there, but not prominently. Well, in this box, it's prominently displayed, as you can see here, Hasbro. And then on the side, also there. And so when I opened the side, I found it really interesting. And, you know, it could have been something I missed before, but I'm fairly certain that part of the, here we go, the tagline, perhaps, or it's late once again, so I can't quite recall, but part of the logos or part of the assurances, I guess we could say, on the boxes that were produced by Kenner was, we really do care. And I believe that of Kenner. So interestingly enough, as Hasbro acquired Kenner, it looks like they adopted the slogan too. I just found that pretty interesting. Anyway, without further ado, here it is. Now, I talked about this before, I believe, in my Peanuts playset. This wonderful, wire that was included in the playsets of the period. And I'm a big fan of this wire because it goes a long way. It really does. It lasts forever. With some more modern stuff I bought, it seems to be more of a natural type of twine that's used now, that's tied, at least for some of the major brands. And let's go ahead and face it, for the Hasbro brands I've purchased recently. But, you know, this stuff here is very useful after the fact. It certainly did what it was supposed to do. It held things in. This particular playset I recently purchased on eBay was produced in 1998. And so that's 24 years ago. And looks pretty new. Looks like it's still very, very new. So on the reverse, these ties. There's one. I have to admit, every time I do this, I feel like a kid at Christmas. I mean, this is why we do these things, right? Why we collect, whether it's actual toys or whatever else. It's that feeling, that warm, special feeling that washes over you. Nostalgia. Thinking about a time much simpler than now. No mortgages, no bills, no rising inflation, no international situations. Things, and those things were occurring. But as a kid, did you really care about them? I know I didn't. Okay. Do I have them all? Oh, yes, I do. Pretty cool backdrop. Of course, I like to save the box. I'm going to save the box. Pretty interesting. I didn't see this coming as far as on the back here. Oh, like, looks like they also came with some types of gaskets. A little bit of yellowing on those, but again, whoops, 24 years old. It's not too shabby. What I probably won't do, because again, I'm trying to really look to keeping a a good time frame on these videos, and I have been not so good at that lately. I'm working on it, but I think I'm going to leave them connected on the bottom. They're connected by screws, and honestly, I think I'm going to do that for the sake of putting them on this diorama that I've been working on as well. But here they are. So at first I thought, when I've seen this before, that, well, surely looking at the material, they must glow in the dark. Well, they don't. In fact, nowhere on the box does it say that they glow in the dark. And it's okay. It's not a problem. I really like that they're translucent. Oftentimes you'll see people selling them individually on whether it's eBay, Mercari, wherever, whatever your place of choice. But here we are. Very, very cool. Very solid. Of course, arms, points of articulation of the arms, as you can see here. And I'm fairly certain that, and again, I have a hard time being absolute about anything. But when looking at the characters from the time of the Power of the Force characters, obviously I think they use the molds that they would normally use for the colored characters. That is, the characters with their colored robes or, skin, everything else. They use those molds for, and essentially put in clear plastic. There's a revelation for you. Parents should remove and dispose of screws. Yeah, they should, but not tonight, they're not. But anyway, what I find cool, and even though it's a smaller portion this time around, with some of these play sets, as I may have mentioned before, from the Power of the Force, they're really just like pretty well built. They last the test of time, certainly better than the plastic. Not in every case, but certainly a bit better than the plastic in the earlier G.I. Joe line, which is G.I. Joe, I realize, but also the earlier vintage Star Wars line. But they're just pretty unique, and that's why I've gained more of an appreciation for them, because we had play sets from the Star Wars vintage stuff, but these just seem like a great next measure, just to kind of complement your existing play sets. And that may have very well been their aim. I don't know. I'd have to research that. But even something as cool as a wooden walkway, when you put it in with the indoor play set, and the Ewoks are running around on their trees, that is their tree forts, their tree homes, and then later used, of course, in the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. It was recycled for that particular playset line. It's just a neat little touch. You know, they didn't actually have to put this in there at all, but it's a nice plastic, as you can see. Very, very tough. It's just a, I don't know, it's a unique little touch. And considering that where I'm going to place them, I want to put them in the diorama, and I'll take pictures of that and put them on Instagram once it's finished. It's just a really neat added touch, for lack of a better term. Again, it's late here in the playset, so I guess you can call this a review. It's certainly an unboxing. But these are pretty cool characters. They look a little smoky on the top and a very clear at the bottom, but you might be able to see that. Kind of smoky. But hey, they're ghosts. That's what they're supposed to be. And in honor of the season, I guess you could say, it is, it's early October, but we're pretty close to the I'd say we're well within the Halloween season. Hey, there's candy on shelves. What else could you say? Of course, there's also Christmas decoration on shelves too, so there's that. But anyway, in honor of the season, here are our Force Ghosts. Anakin Skywalker, Yoda, Yoda Esquire, kidding, Yoda, and of course one Benjamin O.W. Kenobi, affectionately known as Obi-Wan. And Benjamin, of course, is not his real name. We all know this. Anyway, throwing a little playfulness your way as I play here in a playset, the Nostalgica playset. I'll be signing off now, and make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you like, and show some support. I'd love to have it. Anyway, everybody, be safe, and may the Force be with you.